everything under control. But in the darkest hours of the night, when silence is palpable, he feels insecure and vulnerable. While you sleep, this person stares into the void, trying to find words that don't come out. He has said many times that he doesn't need support, that he's strong enough, but the truth is that he fears the fragility he feels. You know this because you have already noticed the mirror reflecting his pain, those deep conversations, that you had exposed his vulnerabilities, and it scares him. He presented a facade of self-confidence, but between the lines you felt the crack. He acts, but he doesn't speak. He laughed, but he didn't truly smile. You are not imagining it. You picked up on the signs, and they scream that he is fighting against his own silence. The brutal truth is that this person, behind all that supposed strength, is feeling weak, absolutely helpless. He hides how much he would like to be held, to be vulnerable, but he prefers to raise a wall of indifference. He thinks that this facade will protect him, but deep down he knows that true protection comes from connection, not from isolation. He believes that he can't afford to allow himself to feel, and this numbs him. Meanwhile, you are here, trying to understand what's going on in his head. You caught yourself thinking, how can he be so distant? And the answer is that he is not distant due to a lack of affection. He is distant because he doesn't know how to deal with what he feels. You remembered when he said he needed to find himself, but that wasn't what he really wanted. What he needed was someone to help him see that strength is not about being tough, but about allowing oneself to be fragile. The reality is that when he tries to move on, the weight of the memories pulls him back. He has already told himself that everything is fine, but he knows it is not. He observes your social media, admires your photos, and even when he puts a smile on his lips deep down, he feels like an imposter. He went out with other people, tried to find happiness in other faces, but nothing compares to what he felt with you. No one can fill the void you left. Sometimes he imagines what it would be like to talk to you again. What would he say? How would he explain the silence? But fear paralyzes his mind, and his mind conjures up terrifying scenarios of rejection. He wonders if you still feel anything, and at the same time he has this certainty that the connection you had is rare, and realizing this, panic takes over him again. So he remains still, watching life from afar, and meanwhile, you continue living. You wonder if he thinks about you as much as you think about him. He knows what's happening, but he doesn't dare to break the silence. He lives in a cycle of longing, wondering how you are now, if you are happy. He had the chance to be real, to open up and be sincere, but he suffocated himself behind his appearance of strength. And you also know the pain of that, because you've been through that situation before. Waiting is agonizing, and time is passing. He postpones having the courage to get in touch, even knowing it could be easier if he was just honest with himself and with you. And this person you still remember, who left deep marks on you, is alone in his thoughts, struggling against a desire for reconnection and the reality that life moved on. While he faces his silence, you are here wondering and reevaluating the situation. But hey, the truth is, deep down he already knows, and you already knew that. This person is hiding his weaknesses under layers of silence. He pretends that everything is fine, but the truth is, he carries a huge weight on his shoulders. While you sleep, this person is fighting against their own demons, feeling cornered between what he feels for you and the need to appear indifferent. He says he is moving on, but the reality is that he can't stop thinking about you. He made a point of stating that he needed space, but that is a lie. What he really needs is courage to face the truth. He can't let you go. The strength he showed to the world is just a facade. Inside he is broken, and you know this because you have always seen beyond the surface. You felt it when he forced smiles, when his gaze wandered, and that every "I'm fine" was a deafening cry of insecurity. This person is surrounded by distractions, people, parties, work, but all of this is just a decree of isolation. He tries to distance himself from you, but each time he closes his eyes, it is you that he sees. He tries to replace you with others, but they are nowhere near the same. The intensity that you bring is not found in anyone else, and he knows this is true. You are not imagining it. He feels angry at himself for being unable to take the step he needs. Fear and pride have paralyzed him. He has imagined you in various scenarios, together, laughing, traveling, living what could have been. But when it's time to act, he hesitates. He prefers to stay stuck in a cycle of what if, rather than risk breaking the silence and facing the pain of rejection. Meanwhile, you are there, waiting for a sign, a message that doesn't come, a word he refuses to say. You notice the little things, the moments when he is online, the way he behaves on his social media. And the truth is, this person misses you more than he would like to admit. He knows he was wrong. He knows he left a door open and that this opportunity will not appear again. You watched him drift away, always hoping that maybe one day his courage would emerge. But time keeps passing. Have you noticed that the pain of an unresolved silence drags on while he remains static, afraid to move? There is a void that he cannot fill with anyone else. He knows you deserve more, but he doesn't feel up to it. And this imprisons him even more. All the strength he tried to demonstrate only made his fragility more evident. He doesn't know how to deal with it, and prefers silence over being truly vulnerable. And the pain that lives inside him is a constant reminder that what he wanted most is in fact what he fears the most. You already knew this. This person is trapped in a cycle of silence and fear. He says he's okay, but inside he's fighting a battle that no one sees. While you sleep, this person is thinking that distancing himself from you was the worst decision of his life. He gave the impression that everything was under control, but it's just a facade. He feels the pressure to be strong, but it has isolated him. He smiles at others, makes jokes, but the laughter does not reflect what's inside. Meanwhile, you know this, because you've already noticed the changes in his eyes. You felt it when he pulled away, and it wasn't due to lack of love. You are not imagining it. The truth is, he feels like an imposter, trying to maintain an image that is not real. He also said that he needs space, but what he really needs is you. He fears that vulnerability will turn his strength into weakness. But the reality is quite different. That fortress he built between the two of you is juxtaposed to what he truly feels, a contradiction that hurts. He tries to deny his feelings, distracts himself with other things, but deep down, he knows that no other smile compares to yours. He hides his true self because exposing his weaknesses makes him feel defenseless, and it petrifies his heart. You should be a relief, but you have become a pain. Meanwhile, you are there trying to understand what happened. You kept wondering if it was something you said or did. The truth is that none of this had to do with you. He got lost in his own mind. As he walks away, he is thinking about how you could be the cure for his wounds if he only had the courage to admit it. Notice his actions, how he tries to act normal, but it's in vain. Without you, life is dull. He plays a song and immediately thinks of you. He walks through places where the two of you used to go, and every corner brings a memory that makes him want to return. But he doesn't, because it's easier to hide behind a forced smile than to face real pain. The brutal truth is that he is sinking into loneliness while pretending to be okay. Inside him there is a trapped scream, a desire to run and find you, but he doesn't know how to break this barrier. And you? You continue with your life, waiting for some sign, some change. You are wondering if he still feels something, and the answer is a deafening scream. Yes, he does, but in his mind, fear and pride are more powerful than love. He has already imagined talking to you, but every time he starts, he feels that the words escape. Every message he starts to type is deleted before being sent. Silence becomes a second skin that he wears every day, masking the truth that screams for freedom. Meanwhile, you are about to give up. He should know that the opportunity is slipping away. And even so, he remains paralyzed, stuck between what he feels and what he fears. He has already caught himself thinking about you for hours, but he can't take the next step. The truth is that by distancing himself, he is creating a gap that may be impossible to bridge. And as time passes, all these feelings just increase. The pain of what could be turns into a burden that he carries on his back. He must have already. To have realized that he is hurting himself unintentionally, but the choice to remain silent is the only option he sees, even if it means distancing himself from you forever. He knows you deserve more. He knows he should have proven it. But until he finds the courage to tear down the wall he built, all that remains are unspoken words and a love suffocated by fear. This person is trapped in an internal dilemma that he cannot resolve. While you sleep, this person finds himself in deafening silence, trying to hide the vulnerability he once tried to deny. He may have convinced himself that he is strong on the outside, but inside this strength has turned into armor that has only isolated him further. He feels the pressure to maintain this facade, to appear unbeatable, But the truth is that every time he pretends everything is fine, a part of him dies. He said he needed to distance himself to find himself. He lied. What he really needs is someone to make him understand that being strong doesn't mean being inflexible. You know this, because this conversation between you echoes in your mind as a constant warning. You felt it when he looked into your eyes, and for a second, his mask fell. His vulnerability was palpable and you were not imagining it. You saw it. He keeps up appearances, but when the day ends and reality sets in, he finds himself surrounded by the emptiness he created. He tries to fill this void with work, with parties, with forced laughs. But when night comes and he lies down alone, the silence is oppressive. He tries to shut off his mind, but the thoughts about you give him no respite. Why don't I have the courage to open my heart? He wonders, but the fear is stronger. This person truly misses the connection he had with you. He may not say it, but he feels lost without you. He involves himself with other people, but none of them compare. He tells himself that it's okay, that he is overcoming it, but what he is really doing is accumulating the love he didn't have the courage to keep alive. And you know that, because at some point you felt it when he should have spoken but didn't. Meanwhile, you continue with your life, trying not to think about him so much. But now and then, you catch yourself wondering, what if he had reached out to me? The truth is that this person wants to reach out to you, but doubt keeps him paralyzed. The doubt about whether he deserves a second chance or if it's too late. He is stuck in memories, fantasizing about what could have been, without realizing that the chance might be slipping away. Yes, he has imagined a future with you. He creates scenarios where he finally has the courage to call you to see you again. But deep down, he knows that every day that passes is an opportunity slipping away, and that consumes him. Yet he still can't take action, and that's the brutal truth. As much as he wishes, the fear of rejection and vulnerability paralyzes him. So, as life goes on, you try to move on. You can't keep waiting for someone who doesn't know what they want. But every day, the pain he causes is a reminder that there are unresolved feelings between you. And even so, he doesn't move. He knows he needs change, but this change involves a reality he won't accept, the fact that he needs to be truthful with himself and with you. And he keeps accepting silence as an answer, even knowing that silence can have a cost. This person is trapped in a sea of unexpressed feelings. He seems to have a firm attitude, but behind that facade, his vulnerability screams louder than any word. While you sleep, this person finds himself overwhelmed with thoughts he tries to suffocate but cannot ignore. He pretends everything is fine, but you know it's not. He said he wanted to distance himself, but that's a lie. What he really wants is a way to open his heart, but the fear is greater. He distances himself, but it is you who occupies his mind every second. And you know this because, at some point, you realize that his silence wasn't distancing, but a silent scream of insecurity. You felt it when the connection between you two started to fade, but it wasn't because he didn't care. It was exactly the opposite. He often tries to convince himself that strength is the answer, that showing vulnerability would be a weakness, but the truth is that this supposed strength only built a wall between him and the feelings he can't handle. He tries to distract himself with other things, but deep down he knows that nothing will ever be as significant as what you two had. He seeks to fill this void, but no exit, no drink or laughter with others comes close to what you represent. Meanwhile, you continue your life, waiting for signs, waiting for him to do something. You realize that he still looks for you on social media, that he still observes your posts, that he still misses what you shared. He tries to replace you, but at the end of the day, when the reality of silence embraces him, he realizes that nothing is enough. That silence he carries is painful. He knows he needs to confront what he feels, but the idea of opening up to you and being rejected paralyzes him. He hides his weaknesses behind a forced smile, while inside he struggles with memories he can't erase. And you're there not knowing whether to wait or move on. What he feels for you is not just a phase. He is lost and doesn't have the courage to admit it to himself. He's already imagined a future with you, but these images fade in his mind, defeated by fear. And at the same time, you've already realized that he is afraid of open up and lose you. This is real. It is not an invention of your mind. You have already seen the signs, and no matter how much you try to ignore it, this truth imposes itself. he needs courage, and that he cannot find. Meanwhile, time passes, opportunities go away, and you both remain stagnant. He watches his life from afar, not knowing how to act while what you had slowly falls apart. It is brutal to realize that he is suffocating under the pressure of what he does not say, and you already knew that.